Hello and welcome, Paragon community, to the Serath stream. We got with us SneakyParagon.
My
gonna draw some art with us today.
What's going on?
How's it going, everyone? Thank you for having us.
Heck yeah. Good to have you guys.
I know it's going to be exciting. You know, we had our stream on Monday.
Yes, we did.
Announcing Serath. We kind of had a more lower, kind of low-key stream with myself, James, and KL. But today, we got you guys out for kind of the second end of this discussion.
Correct. Yep.
Getting talking about the art end of stuff.
Definitely.
Definitely getting into some of the awesome community work you guys have. I know, like Chris was saying, you guys have some awesome. Like, we have the art. I love the original OG Obsidian Rampage.
The Obsidian Rampage was the best.
Big fan of that one.
That one and the Richter one as well.
Yes.
Dylan, were you the one that did the Richter one, or was that both of you guys?
We both started each on a piece when we first chose the idea to start doing some Paragon art. I myself did the Obsidian Rampage, and then my brother here did the Richter at the same time.
That's awesome.
That's why, like, on the Reddit, like, if you kind of like looked in at the post, they were like, one was posted in one day, and then we like followed the 24-hour rule on the Reddit, and then the other one was posted and
give it some time in between. Yep. So you guys, real quick, that segues into a good question I was going to ask. So when it comes to like your guys' artwork, so do you guys do individual pieces? Do you guys work together and collaborate kind of on the same thing? Like, what's kind of the system that you guys
most
follow?
of the time we usually do work on our own pieces, but specifically for kind of like the Serath one that we kind of want to be doing today is that we both collaborated and worked on it together. Dylan started off with the sketch and then finished off with the line work, and then I'll be finishing it off with colors, shading, and then like effects and stuff like that.
Awesome.
Kind of pull everything a little bit together at the end.
Awesome. So you're telling me you guys are really good at coloring in between the lines?
Yeah.
So
I was terrible at that. Like in kindergarten.
I was watching him do it, or I was watching him just slightly color earlier. I was like, oh, what is this demon magic you're doing right now? But to keep the colors in between the lines. I don't know what you're doing. But
yeah, but then we figured out it was like this like Photoshop magic that kind of actually makes it work. So like then I'm like, oh, so all those things in kindergarten that mom taught me of like, oh, color in between the lines.
Definitely,
and,
it transitions.
You'll be good, son.
It transitions well.
It transitions well.
Yeah, definitely.
Fantastic.
Like, you make art, one click of a button, there you go. You're a master artist.
Exactly. So before we get into it, so we're actually going to be hosting Cody and Dylan kind of doing their own rendition of Serath, as Mooney already said. But so one of the things I kind of wanted to mention, so we had a birthday, right? Yesterday?
Uh-oh.
Is it
I think
Cody and Dylan?
Uh-oh.
Is it one of yours birthday, or is it both? Is it?
Because I'm not sure.
I don't know how that works.
So we are twins. Yeah, so
double presents?
No, so it's more of the my brother and I we're twins. If you guys can't even tell, like, we both look
just like Mooney and I.
Yeah, no, same thing. You see the resemblance.
Yeah.
Definitely.
No, that's good. Happy birthday. It's good to have you guys out here to see this Serath stuff, because I think one thing that I think is really interesting about Serath coming out is, first of our kind, use the melee carry.
Yep.
A lot of people getting into that. I know I was talking about you guys. I saw some like awesome plays from yesterday with people dodging ultimates with like using that Q, the Heaven's Fury and stuff.
Definitely.
And it's one of those heroes where like I saw the trailer and I like that fantasy, like that feeling of Serath, like she's just kind of like
so
this
cool.
arbiter, and she's like coming down like
And
that's
Countess
such a
carrying fear.
yeah, it's such a cool concept, and that I think that does that kind of lead into like some of the artistic inspiration for how you depict these heroes?
Yeah, it really comes down to how like their pose is going to be, because obviously you're not going to be having like a countess in fear of Serath or anything like that. You're going to have like a very powerful pose, and definitely like stuff foreshortening coming towards the camera.
Right.
Yeah, like embers and fire type of stuff that you're going to be doing. So it's a lot of what we see inside like the trailers for characters is how we would kind of want to depict them in our artwork that we do.
That's awesome.
Right.
That's fantastic. Yeah, so speaking of artwork, Cody.
Yeah.
Cody's got these awesome shoes. So we're going to try and show them on stream if Clint is cool with doing this. So Cody was like, hey, I'm going to buy some white Vans and create the Dawning Dusk versions of Monolith on my shoes.
Yeah.
And so he actually did it. So take a look at these awesome beauties, please. Fantastic. We're about to show you all. One moment. Give us 1 moment. It's coming.
I mean, I think one of the cool things about Serath too is the light and dark stuff. Do you find any like is the hero fantasy like kind of maybe the lore tidbits we drop or stuff like that? Oh no, you can see the shoes.
Yeah,
right there.
yeah,
There
you
go.
can see them now.
Fantastic.
So,
Oh, they're so cool.
I did them all the way around. I got like kind of captured everything that was on Monolith right now. So you got the light side and the white side. I tried to incorporate the raptors as well, and you got river buffs and jungle buff, or prime on the other side. I can't really show this side. Let's see if I can twist it a little more.
That is OP, if I may say so myself.
No, that's nice. That's
nice
cool.
one. I got it. Oh, kind of like Greystone.
Trying to throw
right?
some, I had to get a couple corny jokes
Get a
in
couple
there,
jokes
little
in
there.
dad
Yeah,
jokes
definitely.
in there.
Those are awesome. Yeah, that's cool, because it's one of the things I think like one of one of the other guys that we work with, like saw the shoes, like I need those shoes. Like we were talking about it yesterday. It's like I need.
Give him my contacts, and I'll shoot him some free Vans if I can.
some Vans.
Hook them up for bringing us out here.
Exactly. So I was actually going to ask too. So like for you guys, so Paragon, why Paragon? So like what got you guys invested like into the art of?
Game.
Hey, I want to actually invest my time into Paragon, making awesome content, making these pictures, and then I know that you guys also do animated videos as well, like the Paragon Pals, I think was your guys' video that you did for the Gora Creator Contest as well. So like what kind of, like why Paragon, and is it your first MOBA or is it not?
I actually started, I was the first one that, between the two of us, that started playing Paragon.
Sweet.
Because I just recently got out of the game that I was playing currently, which was World of Warships, and now I wanted a new game because old games were getting stale, and I just wanted something new.
That was a good choice.
And the first thing that I saw from Paragon was I saw all the trailers, I saw the E3, I saw everything that was about, and I loved the graphics. I was like, I absolutely love these graphics, and that was the one thing that got me hooked onto what Paragon was and why I wanted to try it, because I was like, these graphics are beautiful. Let's say if the gameplay is the same, and it absolutely was.
That's
so
awesome.
I started months before my brother did, and then I convinced him to join the dark side. And I was on my own game, so
The force is strong with this one.
absolutely. Together we can rule the galaxy. And
Oh, sorry, continue.
and then that's what we did. I brought him onto Paragon, and just from there, we constantly played. And then later on is when we started doing actual drawings and concepts and
That's awesome.
all the artwork for Paragon. Yeah, we were really in an art slump. We weren't really doing too much and everything. And since we were constantly playing Paragon all the time, it was just like, all right, might as well just draw something from it. And the first thing that Dylan did was the Obsidian Rampage skin, because I think it had just come out, or it's been out for a little bit. And then seeing just how cool it was and how OP Rampage just basically is under the right circumstance and the right player who's controlling him, and it was just beautiful. So he had to do something. I know I'm speaking for him, but we kind of like coordinated on that. And then Richter is like one of my favorite characters next to Severog.
He's a cool dude.
It's like the chains, it's like get over here type of scorpion. And anytime you pull that Richter pull, you just have to say get over here.
Yeah. Well, it was cool for me. So I know, like being on the community team, like when it first came to like fan art specifically, and like anything in the digital or even a hand-drawn realm, like there wasn't a lot at one point in time. And I remember when I first saw the Elemental Rampage like pop up, or the Obsidian Rampage pop up, I was like, this is awesome. And I remember Ed and I talking about it, and I believe Mooney and I talked about it as well, and I was like, this is really cool. And then you guys kept pumping out stuff, and I'm like, the Richter one, Kale was playing a lot of Richter at that time, so I was like, this is rad. So kudos to you guys, very cool.
Thanks, Chris.
It's like the for me, like seeing that like the artwork and the content that people really are passionate. It's a work of like it's a labor of love almost
Definitely.
to say it, because it's one of those things where like you're able to pour your passion into something you are also passionate about as well, like equally as passionate. So like I love, you love art, you enjoy playing Paragon, you can kind of combine those two loves. And it's a thing where like you see the art, and then you start seeing more and more people like working on art, because they see it's an open community.
Definitely.
So you have that like there's like a certain level of that artist community. You see like fellow artists like doing some work, you're like, awesome, like we're getting into the scene, people are making cool stuff. And it's really cool to see that or develop over time, and just kind of the art style as well.
So Clint, do we actually have any of their artwork that we can go ahead and pop on the stream? That would be fantastic. We're about to show that. But yes, they've got some cool stuff. If you guys haven't, so on Reddit, I know they go under the alias of Yugi Mation.
We'll
So
probably be
SneakyParagon
changing
is
that.
typically what you guys go for. So yeah, here's some of the stuff. So if you guys want to talk a little bit too, even about some of these images that pop up, feel free to take over.
So like this one we got is the Countess. Obviously, everyone's probably one of the Paragon waifus that everyone would probably always like go and lean towards this Countess, just because of how like awesome she is. Her look and everything is just absolutely amazing, and I really had to do that. I know it was a little bit later after she released, but I was kind of just like working on different type of artwork or just playing the game. I was too busy to even do artwork because of how much I was actually playing. I got how many days under my belt so far? A good number of them. Not compared to yours, but
a good number.
Totally cool.
And so like I just wanted to like kind of capture that red, especially with like her lips and like her mist that she does when she does into her ultimate, or the huge blood like wave, the rolling dark, and it was just really cool. And that's why I kind of wanted to do Countess, and I just kind of spewed it out after a couple days, and we have it now.
A couple days.
That's
so humble. So humble.
No,
that's
I only work on
seriously
it.
awesome, because I can't even do a stick figure in a couple days. So like no joke. So that's do we have so the Hunter's picture, like the one that's split? Would you mind pulling that one up, Clint? Yeah, so this is, I think, one of your guys' most recent ones, right?
Yeah, it's one of the 2 recent ones.
Yeah.
The most recent one right now is a Clary image, but this was the one right before it.
Yeah.
And
this
you
one,
actually worked on this one, so yeah. This one was, I just love the lore behind Paragon, and I love hearing all the stories between characters and their interactions, and so with this drawing, that's what I wanted to do.
That's
I
awesome.
knew that Chimera and Grux, their lores are tied because of the Chimera skin having the Grux pelt on him.
Yep.
And so that's
Yep.
what I wanted to do, is I wanted to put these 2 rival hunters against each other, and we were planning to make this like a series
So
of
cool.
drawings. And
cool.
continue the lore
Nice.
of characters or allies with each other.
Totally.
Bellica and Murdoch and other ones as well. So expect a few more of these character portraits to be there. Definitely we're going to be doing the Severog Countess Serath lore connection that they all have
Ooh.
together.
Yeah.
So it might be a
Nice.
triple one where you have all 3 of them together.
Get
Or
those
it might
Stop
be...
blades.
it.
Get
I
those
can't.
blades.
I'm
might be-
leaving because I'm about to pass out. 'cause That's
Yeah, that's
awesome.
too. No, that's
too
really cool because I think that's the sort of thing is like the meaning behind some of the drawings is like really the cool part of it because it adds to the art itself because you're like this is like something I'm passionate about playing in the game. I feel this way, like I feel like that rival, that Grux on the other team, like I'm jungling,
Yeah.
he's jungling, and if you try to counter jungle me, man, like I'm not gonna be afraid to fight you. Like we're gonna get it on. Like we're gonna fight. We're
Heck
gonna one of us is gonna win, and we'll see what happens afterwards.
You have like an arena, just both teams go to orb pit, and then you have the Grux versus Chimera in it. This is 1v1.
fight
So
pit.
fight. The first rule about Fight Club is you don't talk about
That's
Fight
right.
Club.
That's right. Well, I told them yesterday, so we were getting pizza, and I was like, Severog, for me, as far as the art, I just personally, and Cody and Dylan, we were talking about that they share the same sentiment, is that just such a cool, unique, mysterious character. And I was like, you guys may have to do a Severog one. So maybe we'll see. Maybe
Oh,
not in the
definitely.
future.
Absolutely. We plan for it to be as a gift to Chris. Kind of like this, either Severog himself just alone, or kind of continuing this hunter
This trend,
rivalry
right.
Yep.
series. It could be Countess, it could be Serath, it could be both of them at the same time. But definitely,
dude, that's
we
so-
want to do Severog next, just as a gift to Chris and St.
cool.
Clair's.
So we're going to let them kind of go do their thing, but right before they do, so I did want to tell one quick story too. So last night when we were kind of talking, and so obviously they're identical twins, if you guys couldn't tell. So just like Mooney and I. So we're hanging out, and we're getting pizza at this place, and so we each got our own 10-inch pizzas, and we're just hanging out. We're talking, we're vibing, it's good, the mood's good. So we're hanging out, and so we finish, and Cody, I believe it was you, was like, hey, should we get to-go boxes? And so I'm like, okay. Cool. Well, I looked down, and the pizza that was left over was, I'm literally talking to the bite, was the exact same between these 2 gentlemen. Literally, there was one slice left.
But to the bite, like there was the same
The
bite taken.
crust was the same length, everything. And I'm like, you guys literally do everything together. They were wearing the same outfit,
Oh yeah, no,
It was the perfect.
They
It
did
was
this.
perfect.
They did this. This feels like the best troll you can pull on somebody as twin. They walked into the office. I saw them introducing myself to them, and I was like, "Really? You both wore the same outfit?
Yeah.
You're just doing this to mess with me on purpose."
so good.
It had to be done.
Yeah. So luckily, the shoes were. I was
The
able.
shoes,
I was able to.
yeah.
I was able to
Shoes.
use that as a determining factor. But
Definitely.
those.
I could give Dylan the right shoe, and he gives me
that's-
his,
Oh,
and we'll
please
just
don't.
swap it
Please
out. You
don't.
just never know. You
No,
really
we'll
have to
never
look at the artwork on
That's
the
it. So they graced us today with the presence
Yeah.
of wearing different shirts. So we're like, okay.
Yeah.
So
Thanks for the
we've
help.
got
Thanks for
We
the
knew
help.
more
something.
people would be watching, so it was more for the viewers. If it wasn't for the viewers, we'd probably still be trying to mess with you guys.
Understandable.
Full
understandable.
100% twins. I'd probably wear my other shoes.
There you
So
go.
that way, because they look the same color and everything. So
Awesome. Well, cool. So we're going to go ahead. Mooney and I are going to get off. We're going to let these dudes do their awesome thing, and then we will come back on. So get prepared for a treat. This is going to be
Yeah,
cool. I'm excited
it's
to
gonna be
kind of see
awesome.
what they do with Serath. And
And it's like the first time we've done this sort of thing, so really
Exactly, yep.
showcasing the community art to the community. And I think for a lot of artists out there, if you want to get started, that's the kind of thing, doing this sort of thing, it's a
Yep.
project of passion. You kind of get into it,
Definitely.
and then you start grinding away at it. And these guys show that the grind pays off.
Yep. So awesome, guys. Floor is yours. Thank you guys so much.
awesome.
Thank
Thanks
you,
so much
Chris.
for having us,
Weird.
guys.
Thank you very
Yeah, fantastic.
Awesome, guys. So I hope you guys are ready for a treat of some sort, because we've got ourselves some Serath fan art that we'll be working on today, courtesy of Dylan, my brother. He had already kind of previously done the line work, the sketch, the drawings, and everything like that. So he did the prelim stuff because we don't ourselves have a lot of time to try and finish this. But I'm definitely going to try and work fast, but efficiently out over here. And we'd probably just get started on trying to color Serath in, get some detail and stuff like that. I got some textures with me and whatever, and we'll just like kind of get right into this already. Kind of like, you know, do whatever we need to do to make this thing look great as best as possible. And, you know, like if we can't finish it or anything like that, you know, within the time that we have, we're just gonna, we'll continue it later at home. We'll post it on our Twitter, which is at SneakyParagon. If you guys want to go and follow me there, I only have a couple followers, so some
You'll be
encouragement.
some of the first people there, so.
Yeah, you guys will get all the latest updates and everything. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start off this real quick, guys.
And we know that the objective here is to make this one look similar, if not just as good as the Hunter's picture, which is the both Grux and Chimera one. And that's what we're planning to do, is to make each one look just as good as, if not better than the previous one. And so that's what we're going to be trying here today, getting all the details. If there's anything that chat, or if there's any questions that people have, we'll be free to feel free to ask them, and we'll do our best that we can answer as well.
We ourselves haven't been able to play Serath as of yet because our flight was like on day of release, so we weren't able to play her just yet, but I'm definitely excited to get in and see what she has to offer. I know a lot of people, and Mooney and the others, have been saying that community plays on the Reddit and stuff like that. It's just been absolutely amazing the way she's using like her Qs and her entire kit to like get away and anything like that. So that's definitely going to be something fun to see, and I'm definitely going to want to try her out when we get back. Maybe a huge Paragon day or something.
Yeah, from all the time that we missed and everything. So that should be exciting to do. And just the plays that people are already starting to be making with Serath, those, it's like we're getting a real understanding of where this character is as a melee carry. So that's exciting to see, and I can't wait to see just what people are going to be doing. And that was only for the first day.
Yeah, I know. You never know what's going to happen. You got your A-Lit content probably. Yeah, I know you uploaded a video today or something like that, but you never know. A Serath gameplay could be inside it. It could be exciting, could be fun. It's always hilarious. I love that guy. His work's just absolutely amazing, the way he edits everything together.
Yeah, those are very top-notch quality. And so if there's any questions that the chats may have, we'll feel free to ask them.
Yeah,
And-
we'll definitely try to answer as many questions as possible.
And so what are you doing right now, kid?
Well, it's obviously, you know how it runs down, but it's just the rimming. It's like I know she has some like gold plating around her. Like it's a lot of white for her armor, and then like the gold rimmings.
Absolutely.
So that's why I wanted to try and get first. It's a lot of the small details that usually comes down to like getting done. So I usually want to start with the small ones. That way the larger ones are just kind of easier to work around, since these really small details in here are starting to, you know, like they can get cramped, they can get annoying or anything like that. So that's kind of what we wanted to get through before I got to any of the larger like armor stuff, where I can just fill it in with like her armor color or anything like that. So
Absolutely.
Kind
So
of
you want to take like one detail at a time, because
yeah.
it takes patience. It takes a while to do something like this. So we're gonna get as far as we can with this drawing for this stream. But the end goal is that it will be a finished render, and it'll be uploaded to the Reddit for everyone to see. Feel free to use it as wallpapers, as backgrounds, phone covers. I know I have myself have the Hunter picture as our phone screensaver.
Oh, that's
So-
not like high-headed at all or anything like that, or just tooting your own horn.
No. It's just that we needed one. It was blank for a while, so that's what we decided to use until something else comes along, and we'll use that one instead. So.
Definitely.
And so, how about we go over a few of how we got into art? So, for years, my brother and I, we were doing art for a Yu-Gi-Oh community. Hence, why on Reddit our name is called Yu-Gi-Mation, because we did art and animations for that community. And when we got into Paragon, that's when we started to migrate over and slow down on the other channels of production and everything. So now we're starting more focused on doing Paragon stuff, because that's our next game. That's the next big thing that we're going to be doing. And just everything that we're doing now is going to be transitioning over from Yu-Gi-Mation onto Paragon stuff. And so we're going to be expecting a lot of new things to be coming up.
Yeah, definitely.
The
Kinda like
Rampage and the Richter one were some of our first stuff. And then moving on to the Orb Prime image that we did, because Orb Prime, when he got his reskin during some of the later patches in the Legacy map, that is when I was really excited for how Prime's aesthetics look. They were really, really spot on.
Yeah, not adding to the like the meme of 2016, but anytime he came down, I'd always just let my team know that Harambe is about to come in.
Yep, I heard that many times
Or
before.
Skrillex, because
Yeah.
you know, like whenever he's attacking, it like has like all those dubstep sounds or anything like that.
I'm wondering if we could probably hear that from the community. Maybe someone who deals with music, they can remake the Paragon theme song with or Prime sounds and make it like a dubstep remix kind of thing.
Dude, that would be amazing. I would love to hear that. You and I have already been talking about like trying to learn just music production just so we can do that one thing.
Yep, just that's the number one thing that we have on the mind. So if anyone happens to have the time or the skill to do that, that would be amazing to hear.
That's
because-
like instant front page Paragon type
yeah.
of content right there.
Do you know how long I'm gonna have that thing on loop for if someone actually does that?
Dude, that monetization on YouTube, throw that on YouTube and there you go.
Well, it'll be Paragon, so it'll go to them. But that would be something really exciting to hear.
Definitely. Just like all the wubs and anything. So like anything you'd want to like throw into that. Maybe some like sound clips from like people's ultimates or anything like that. You got the Grux roar, or you got the Rampage
Slam
rock.
First Yep.
Steel alt coming
that
in.
8-hour stun that Rampage has.
Yep.
So when you see that rock flying, you better get out of there because you know it's coming.
Definitely.
And when we were doing this piece, we knew that Serath was going to be coming out, and so we wanted to get stuff pre-prepped beforehand because we knew we weren't going to have as much time as we would need to hopefully finish. But we're going to do the best we can here, and so just getting all these minute and small details is something that's it does take a while, but in the end, it's going to be very much worth it because we're gonna have a new image for everyone to show the concepts of Serath and everything.
Yeah, well, I mean, we always like to go through like some of the step processes. We always leave our sketches on. Like we never delete them. We kind of just always want to like see where we started and then where we ended up at the final product, and that's usually always something fun to see. You know, kind of if you don't show it to anyone, at least you have it for yourself.
Yeah.
Just to kind of see like where you started off and where you ended up. So it's always really cool to just kind of see like how far you've progressed.
Absolutely.
I mean, it usually does take us a couple days to make these, like any of the other images that we've had. What was the slowest one or should I say the quickest one that we had? What was like one of the fastest turnarounds? Was it your Rampage one, or was it?
It was probably the Rampage one because of in the beginning steps of before we started to refine some of the later drawings of. It was in the beginning just a quick rendition, and then I just decided to color it, and that's when I decided to post it. I was like, hey, this one looks decent enough that we can go ahead and post it somewhere, and I know the Reddit's probably going to appreciate it. So that's probably the one that took the shortest amount of time to complete, but I still do like it. It came out pretty well, and yeah, that's exactly what it is for that one. And don't you enjoy code releasing a lot of the creative stuff that people are starting to do now?
Oh, definitely.
I do know that
there's a number of artists already starting to pop up.
I believe Alistair is one of the artists right now.
Yeah, I really enjoyed.
Yeah,
enjoyed
he
the
just was he was the one that did the Twin Blast one.
Yeah,
well, right?
recently just posted the Twin Blast one, and then did a Countess one before. I'm not sure if he posted it to the Reddit or not, but I started following him on Twitter. And I think before that he did a Kalari one, which was actually featured for the Paragon home screen for a while. And that's, I think, how we figured out. Oh, wait, no, it wasn't that one before. It was the Santa Rick.
There we go.
Old Saint Rick that we got just coming on. That one was really cool. The pose was just like really awesome, and the way like
it was directly in your face and everything.
Definitely.
So, yeah, that one was very well done. And just recently, if you saw that image on Reddit, some person is going to be starting their cosplay for, I believe, Decker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw that one. That was really cool. They already got the staff kind of like cut out and everything.
Yeah, that's
So-
going to be exciting to see because her armor, especially if you visited the Paragon Twitter of how they show some of the 3D models, and one of them happens to be Decker, and it was going on the detail of how much detail is in her neck piece and everything. So that's going to be really interesting to see when someone finally completes that cosplay for her. That's
Definitely.
going to be good. That's definitely going to be something I'm looking forward to.
And that's how you know like a fandom's like really starting to take off, is like when fan art starts coming out for it, and then like you're gonna have like cosplays of it, because all characters designs and stuff like that in Paragon is just like really cool. I love the way that like Richter looks with his chains. Sevarog is one of my favorite characters next to Richter, and just like how mysterious he looks, and like
Absolutely.
the entire combination. And then once we get more lore, that's definitely something that like is gonna be like top of the line stuff. Like as soon as we start getting lore or more of it, that's I think what's really gonna help drive more of the Paragon community in forward for whatever it's got in store.
Yeah, because I think that's one of the driving factors of what people really enjoy is having the backstory to their characters, having the lore, their connections, and everything. And that's also one of the big inspirations for anything that we do art related, is that we look at the lore and we see, oh, how can I use this information to create an even better piece? It's like, can I incorporate something that people are going to recognize because they know it's part of the lore? And how does this fit into another character that I could possibly do in the future, and see how that one could connect to one another?
Yeah, I know for the like the Face Split series that you wanted to continue, it's going to be a lot of people who are definitely connected, like that we know are for sure connected, like
Right.
Balaka and Murdoch.
Serath, Countess, and Sevarog all together. I do know that one's going to be in the future. And then just personally based on what we think would be a good fit, obviously using their information of lore if they have any, but just going to be the ones that we know first, going to be those, and then moving on to ones that are a little bit more open-ended. So that's going to be interesting, and that's going to be fun to do. I know you're going to help me on that series as well.
Yeah, I'm not just going to let you take all the
Yeah.
credit yourself.
Absolutely.
I
Yeah.
got to get some action in there too. Just because we're both Sneaky Paragon doesn't mean like I get my own gratification.
Yeah, there you go. And so,
What was like one of the recent ideas that you wanted to do? I know we told Chris that we were going to do a Sevarog one, but I know that you had maybe I think another one kind of planned a little bit more.
yeah,
Uh,
because we were thinking of more of the open-ended characters of who would be best to go against each other, and even if their lore isn't connected, who do you think would probably be a good connection? And I know Howie and Gadget, because they're both very tech savvy. Howitzer has his mech, and Gadget has her entire kit that she has. So maybe they could be some characters that are part of the Split series.
Oh yeah, definitely. What is something I also saw is that in Richter's lore that he has, it's like he's always more towards the discipline area, and Warden Richter.
It says he's a warden. So who knows? Maybe that could be something that Bellica and Murdoch, maybe Richter, could be
like
with.
part of the OPD.
Yeah, because I know
And-
someone did bring that out, that they saw some of that on the armors as well.
Yeah,
And-
when it's coming to like her shoulder piece.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm not sure, but is it look like Rampage is the only one that looks like he has a chain on his arm?
Yeah, so who knows? He could probably be an escaped prisoner from a facility, and Richter happens to be the warden there. So who knows? Maybe those two can go well together in a split series. I know I would want to see something like that.
Definitely.
Because Richter, with how he looks, just his aesthetics, that's something that's really appealing for me as a character. And I'm not too sure if we've had any questions, because I don't think I could see anything in the Google Doc. But if anything's going to be open for that, we'll definitely take any questions that the chat may have. And I know people are probably off busy playing Serath right now,
Yeah.
because her kit's just so cool. And I can't wait to finally get back so we can try it out ourselves and just see how much fun people are having with her right now.
Even though I know like that a lot of the new characters, like people really, like especially in Reddit, they always say like, oh, so and so is gonna be my new main. So like you never know like who is it. You just kind of want to get a feel for the character. I know when
Right.
Crunch came out, I had like one game. It's like no one's picking Crunch. It's like, all right, I guess I picked Crunch, and I was the jungler, because like you always kind of want to throw your new characters and see if they can jungle themselves. But I did terrible that game. Let me just really quick.
Just taking care of a few stuff over here, guys. Don't worry about it.
Getting some questions loaded up. Don't worry about it, guys. Whoops. Got it. All right. So we are seeing some questions already.
You could just go ahead and move back over to.
Yeah, just load that up really quick.
All right, sorry about that, guys, if we haven't been able to see your questions recently. But Infinity, someone says, who's your favorite hero in terms of design? And I know we've gone over a few of that already. And definitely it's Sevarog, because just the way that he looks, he's a very mysterious, dark character. Nobody has any voice lines, and you've only heard his laughing so far. And that's just very menacing, and that's very, that's awesome to hear, especially with a character like that. So that's something that I want to hear more of, and just can't wait to see how he changes with some possible later tier 3 skins. That's going to be something, who knows, because maybe that's something we can try out, is maybe create some concepts of Sevarog tier 3 skins. I know we already created one with the Celestial Glory Sevarog.
Yeah, kind of taking a different turn. Sevarog himself is obviously, like, everyone calls him just Grim Reaper or something like that, even though Grim EXE does have Grim himself inside the his name, but people just call Sevarog the Reaper or Grim Reaper or something like that. So it's always really fun just to see like what type of ideas, designs, and the Reddit actually has a lot of hero concepts and hero skin ideas. So the Celestial Glory one that we did was that we kind of took a turn from the way that Sevarog is portrayed
and turn it more into a lighter character.
Yeah, definitely.
And so yeah, for Infinity, in terms of design, it would obviously be Sevarog.
I think that's more so for you, even though Sevarog is still one of my characters, and I love it when he has his 4th tier stack. It's amazing just to see like all those spikes. But more recently, I've been looking more closely at the detail of Kwang. So like all the armor that he has on, and just like the integration of it, and obviously lightning. It's like you throw lightning on any character and he's just gonna look awesome.
Right.
So not only that, like he kind of revolves around just like having lightning attacks and everything.
Absolutely.
That's definitely gonna be something that I'm looking forward to.
Yeah.
So like the intricate detail inside Kwang's armor himself, his shoulder piece, his back, and definitely his long cloud-looking sword.
Yeah. And yeah, so all the characters are greatly designed, and the entire team here has done a phenomenal job of portraying these characters. This is our first MOBA that we've ever played. We know that we were going to attempt League of Legends or Dota, but we didn't really enjoy the graphics because of the way that you and I are, and Paragon brought us to their site because that's what you and I love. You and I love the graphics, and that's what we saw first, and now we're here.
Yeah, definitely.
So we're going to move on to some other questions. Gunnar Optic asked, do we start with the face? And if not, where do we start? So when we're usually creating a concept or a new idea or just a new drawing in general, we don't really start with one particular area. We start with what's called a gesture design, which is a very simplified drawing of just your preliminary stuff. It could be very sketchy. It could be almost in kind of like a very rough stick figure kind of pose, but it's just to get an idea of what the character is going to be wearing, what their stance is going to be, and if their proportions are correct. And so that's exactly what we try and do with the majority of all the drawings, is just we start with this gesture drawing, get the idea of what we're going to be doing, and then we move on to some of the more larger details, which will eventually, yes, be the head, because that's very important for character, facial expressions, and everything. So that's what we...
Not actually too much, because look at Sevarog.
You know what? That's one exception, though. And so, yeah, so for Gunnar Optic, who asked that question, thank you very much. And so we're going to move on to the next question here, asking, are you guys planning to do one of Feng Mao? And to very briefly, yes, we are. We're planning to at least get to one drawing per character if we can, so that way we can get through the entire roster of characters. We know that every 3 weeks there's going to be a new one, so we're just going to add another one on when we get around to it. But that's a great thing of having two of us, right? We could take on two at a time.
2 projects at the same time. That's
Absolutely.
I love it. See, there 2 is always better than 1.
Absolutely. So you're able to get many more done when you have a partner in crime, and you're doing those 2 together. So that's something exciting as well. And Cody, if you could go ahead and scroll down onto the next ones, I can go ahead and get some more questions down there.
I'm controlling the
Yeah.
the.
I'm just here for looks to make him look better. I mean, you can't have SneakyParagon without the 2 people. So, Ash Ketchup asks, do you take commissions? I want some Muriel art. As of right now, sir, we do not take commissions, but there's going to be some art of everyone eventually, so there's going to be something that pleases everyone because we're going to get through the entire roster of characters. So if you don't see something now, there's definitely going to be something coming up in the future. Maybe not recently, but we're going to try and get to as many characters as we can, hopefully covering all of them. And so there'll be something for everyone there.
Yeah, we'll just have to keep up with the way the characters are, because every 3 weeks we'll be getting new characters. So if we're starting to slack behind or something like that, then we better start picking up speed, because
Yeah.
we don't want to fall behind, especially with more and more characters coming out and the hype around those new characters. I mean, look, I'd had Severog, or like a more split ones like the Hunters that we did, kind of like with maybe Kwong and Greystone, or Greystone and Sparrow. But now that Serath came out, look what I'm doing now. I'm doing fan art for Serath. So we definitely have to keep it within the 3 weeks, so that way my hype for the new character doesn't kind of like take over.
Yeah, exactly. And so we're going to move on to another question. Why do we... I think this one is more geared for a personal Photoshop question. Why try everything we do in the lines instead of just using a magic wand with the boundaries on, and then just color in all at once? We have tried that in the past, and that's definitely a thing that people who are familiar with Photoshop can do. But you could just never trust the boundaries of Magic Wand. They can select stuff that you don't want. They could select not enough things. And so when we're just doing some of the coloring, it's just easier for us, because we know some of the problems that can happen with Photoshop and everything, that we just don't use the Magic Wand. But we do eventually at some times, but just for this one, we decided to go with just a straight color, which we know can take a little bit more time, but you could get a more accurate reading for that one.
Because like if the Magic Wand, if you use it, select it, and a line isn't closed off, and you don't know where that line close off is, then it could just like kind of reselect your entire thing. And by the time you end up finding it, closing it, and then there's like a little ring that it produces around it, so like you have to go back in and color that. At least that's been my experience with Magic Wand tool. So we use more of the control select, so like that's why we filled in this bottom layer right here. Whoops. Instead of like kind of doing a full select itself, so that way we can at least have like the part that we want to color in, able to select it and then still keep it within the line. So like I have a dark color right here, and I'm not going outside of these lines because I have the base mesh selected. So that's kind of like why we wanted to keep it more that way. But you never know, we're always more open up to suggestions of like maybe how to color faster or color better, because you always learn, and you're never going to stop learning.
Yeah.
Especially now that you can get like insight from like other people using the internet, seeing how they color, looking at tutorials online or anything like that, or just watching someone on Twitch. I know we do that a lot whenever we're not playing Paragon or we're not drawing or anything like that, that we'd sit down, go and look at some other art streams and just see what they're doing, see if they do anything different. And if we can incorporate that ourselves, then by all means, we're going to definitely want to do that. So
Absolutely. I mean, you always get inspiration from other artists as well. I mean, there might be some times where you're like, oh, I can't do that. But if you continue practicing, if you continue following your fundamentals, your practice and everything, you can get to that level. I mean, a few years ago, you and I would have never been even thinking about doing something like this because of at the level we were at. But now, because we kept practicing, because we kept up with anatomy and studies and just all how lighting affects certain areas and stuff like that, we learned that these are some of the basics, and we use those to get better at our art. And look at that, now we're here at Epic doing some fan art as well for Serath, so you never know what your practice can get you.
we were just doing this for fun. We never knew that like people were going to get contacted. I know that a lot of streamers in the past have been brought out over here, and they themselves, they do what they do and are really, really good at their own craft. So like, to each their own. If you have something that you want to do or that you love doing, and then you kind of just want to share that with others, you never know where it can get you.
Exactly.
You take you on a trip to North Carolina and have the time of your life just hanging out with the secondary twins, Mooney and Chris, because obviously, there's that resemblance. And it was just like a really, really good time.
Yeah, and I'm really enjoying my stay here.
It's almost like you don't want to leave, right?
Here, could we just go ahead and scroll over so we can see if there's been more questions down there?
Yeah, for sure.
No, I don't think so. But if stuff does come up, we're gonna make sure to get to as many as we can.
And as soon as we actually like have the base of the colors like kind of filled in, like it really just comes down to the shading, rim lighting, and anything like of the smaller details that you want to do just like in color. Because I know you don't want to do everything that you have inside like the lines. You could want to add like different features or anything like that,
Right.
like kind of while you're coloring it, or whoops, I'm selecting on the wrong layer.
And that's something that tends to happen when you're working Photoshop. It's
Oh
like,
my goodness, I can't even tell you how many times I'm working, and then all of a sudden it's like, all right, this looks good. How does the layer look without the lines? And I was drawing like on the wrong layer or something like that,
and then
it's
your
just
soul
terrible.
kind of just gets crushed within that moment, because you know you're gonna have to either restart from that point or just try and fix all the damage that you've done.
Yeah.
So that was something.
I mean, turning it off and just go play Paragon to ease off some steam.
Yeah.
But if you have that one Greystone in left lane that always thinks he's invincible and pushes up to tier 2 tower and sees no enemies on the map and just ping and group up, and then all of a sudden 5 seconds later he just gets ganked by the entire 5-stack diamonds that you were going up against. So you never know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Don't be like that Greystone. Pay attention. Map awareness, right?
Yep, I think that's one of the bigger things that when we play is, especially when we're playing with Team America out there, who are part of some of the tournaments already, and Cupsy and Hakuna Matata and everyone.
Dude, Hakuna's
They-
so cool.
They
so
know
chill.
who they are.
If they're watching the stream, they know
Yeah.
who they are.
So when we're playing with them, it's always map awareness, and I think that's what some people might need to focus up more when playing, is just to get that mindset of, I need to constantly be aware of where my team is, where my enemy is, and overall it's just going to help you when you're playing, is to have that map awareness.
Wards save lives.
Yeah, I mean there's a reason why they say that.
Yep.
And so when you finally get all this base stuff done, will it be easier for you?
Oh yeah,
to-
definitely. As soon as I'm kind of, I mean, there's some layers that I don't even need to do anything on, like the hair layer, and I know it's like some of the armor is going on. I'm probably going to put the hair color like on top of that, so I don't even need to worry about like going in the lines, especially not even on the face either. Like most likely the hair or whatever is just kind of going to go over that.
Yeah. And that's a great thing when you're working on layers in Photoshop, is that you don't need to stay perfectly within the lines, because you can just create a layer on top of that and it covers it all up anyway, right?
Yeah, definitely. That's kind of the way like I've always worked. I know you've worked in the exact same way, so like kind of just transferring that over.
Yeah. Every artist has their own personal preference, though, of when they start coloring. We know that there's some artists who go full value when drawing.
I've actually always wanted to, like, that's something that I really want to practice on, is just go straight value, not even need to worry about the lines. It actually makes it look a lot more full and a lot more, like, colorful.
Yeah.
Brings a lot more tone and value to it compared to the lines. Because if I turn off the lines right now, you're gonna see that everything,
Kind of blends together a little bit.
yeah. So I mean, we're no means the best at all, but we just enjoy what we do, and we love to show other people like what we can do, and we definitely want to see more artwork inside the community as well, because just seeing what the community can do, if you see someone else doing something cool and you want to say like, hey, I want to do something cool like that too, then it can like drive you to go and do your own thing. And you never know what could happen when you know.
Who knows? You could get flown out to Epic headquarters as well. And that's something that's always interesting. You and I especially always look for other artists in a community, whichever community we might be in, whether it's the previous one with Yu-Gi-Oh! Or the one now for Paragon. We always want to find or see the creative side of that community, whether it be through cosplay, whether it be through art, videos, and editing. When someone creates the cinematics and everything using the in-game, that's always fun to see.
Definitely. I think that was actually one of my favorite ones. It was War. I can't remember the channel name, but for the Agora Creator Contest, like that one was really cool, and I just loved it.
I think it's because it also helped drive some of the lore together, or at least some rivalries. When you saw in team comps, if one team had a Murdoch and the other one had a Twin Blast, you definitely knew they were going to be going against each other.
Right. Oops, I think I might be... There we go. Sometimes you just lose the mouse.
Yeah. You just don't know where it is.
Grab this hair color.
Here, Code, scroll over to the other page to see if we might have any more questions. Go ahead and scroll up. Nope, I don't think anything for right now. Oh wait, go up. Let's see what we got there. RG Sace. RG Sace. There you go. My bad.
Sorry about that.
He asks, where can we see more of our... I'm sorry, guys, if we're getting to these just right now, but we kind of go on tangents a little bit when we start talking, and then it's hard for us to shut up.
Ain't that the truth?
He was asking, where can we see some of our art? I know definitely on DeviantArt and on Twitter, it's under SneakyParagon. And we have all the drawings that we've done there from the Rampage all the way to the Kalari, which in total is around 7 or 8 images, I believe.
I think so. Are we counting the concept stuff that
I
we're
would
doing
count
as well?
those as well. Some of just the base concepts that we might have.
Yeah,
done.
we do skin ideas as well. I know we were talking about the Celestial Severog a little bit ago, and then we were talking about...
There were some concepts for Sparrow as well.
Yeah, you did like an Arch Hunter or something like that, or like
Yeah.
a Legendary Hunter, and then like an Arctic one.
Yeah. And little do I know that I wasn't aware that someone was saying that the Legendary Hunter skin for Sparrow was similar to something from, I believe, Tomb Raider. Someone was saying they had similarities. And I've never played a Tomb Raider game before, except for maybe the first one on PlayStation or whatever. And yeah, see, they have it down over there in one of the images right there. And people were saying, oh, yeah, it kind of has a resemblance to it, but it fits Sparrow perfectly because she's an archer. And she's always run through the who knows, she could be running through the woods. That could have been a creature from Agora. And so
you never know. It kinda
you
looks
could
like
put your own lore towards some of those images. It's like, oh,
I think that's something also fun that people do. Is just like, hey, like we don't have a lot of lore yet,
yeah.
but like I'll make my own lore and like share it with others and see what
And who
they
knows,
think about
maybe
it.
when the real official lore comes out, it's like, oh, how far was I from that?
Yeah, it's always interesting to see like how far exactly was my story that I created without any other previous knowledge about like what this character is or something like that
Right.
compared to like the real lore itself. So that's always fun. Whoops, I'm going into the armor.
Gotta watch
I
out.
forgot this was on the top layer.
Yeah. Gotta watch out for that one.
So I'm definitely going to try to speed this up a little more. I think I might be coloring in a little slower.
Oh, we do have some more questions over there. I didn't even see that one. Which character half of Serath inspired us more? It's hard to say because it was even when we first saw her. It's like, I think overall Serath in general was just a really awesome concept to have this dual personality. And but if I were to pinpoint it now, I would definitely say her second half, her evil half, is one that, especially when they dropped the lore on Monday about Severog and Serath.
Mhm.
So that was definitely interesting to see. And now looking back at it, her second evil half, her ultimate form, is one that would probably be more inspiring.
Even
Just
though you drew the regular form.
Yeah. Well, we all did. That was before. So
Oh yeah, that's right.
because we were preparing this ahead of time to try and get it ready for stream, and so when we finally saw the trailer, and I saw that ultimate form, I was like, oh man, this is gonna be good.
Yeah.
It's about to go down.
You never know the skill cap that you'll definitely be having with Serath.
Yeah.
Who knows? You could throw her into the offlane too. I know a lot of people have been like just trying her in different places. People always
Yeah,
say
well,
when a new
remember, it's
character-
only the first day, so people are going to be trying her in all places. Some people are going to claim she's a jungler. Some people are going to claim that she belongs in mid lane, but you never know. So,
Greystone mid lane next meta.
oh, Coach, go ahead and scroll down. We do have some more questions over there. There we go. Clint is like, you guys want to flip the image to have the mace in the left hand?
That's exactly what I was telling Dylan right before the stream.
You know,
It was like,
before I started this picture, I saw that her weapon was in her left hand, but it didn't click with me because usually when artists draw, they tend to draw whatever character they're drawing be similar to them, of having the dominant hand of whatever hand that theirs is dominant with. And so I think that was just a detail that I overlooked when doing the initial drawings. And so yeah, we can definitely flip the image. Yeah, well, we're gonna be flipping the image. If we can't finish this Serath piece on stream like today, we just keep an eye out for the Reddit, and if you guys go to our Twitter at SneakyParagon, we're definitely gonna be posting it there as well, and it's gonna look pretty nice. We have some serious plans that we want to do with the Serath design, especially kind of going like a little bit farther than we have with the others. Yeah, absolutely. And so if we don't finish it now within the limited time that we have, because it usually does take us a couple days, we never work until it's done because we're probably going to go play Paragon. That's kind of like one of our curses of playing video games and being an artist at the same time, is that like how much time you allocate to like either one. So it's definitely always a struggle of, oh man, I don't want to art right now, or do I want to, be productive? I want to play first, or do I want to draw first? Yeah. Like, but then if I play, I might get upset, and then I wouldn't want to draw. So it's like you have to take a gamble every time being an artist. Definitely, it's at least for our situation. And I know maybe other artists in the community, they might feel the same way. Like, do I want to draw first? Do I want to play first? But yeah, that's a chance you're gonna have to take, definitely. And
hopefully it's the right choice that you make.
Yeah. And if you win, you feel good about yourself. And it's like, okay, now I can go and draw, and you're in a better mindset.
Just gotta play your heart out. You can be the Carrie Muriel or the Carrie Narbash or Carrie Decker. You never know. Someone could be, not doing their job, and then you have to take over it. Especially more versatile. Speaking about that, like you're a Howie main now.
Yes, I mean,
you just recently reached master with Howie. After how long?
It's been a while because Howitzer was my first main ever back on Legacy.
Yeah, like back when.
After a while, I kind of dropped Howie and I moved over to ADC with Murdoch. And so I got the master on Murdoch, and then only recently in Monolith did I go back to Howie and finish off his mastery. And I can honestly say he's my favorite hero right now because of it's so hard to gank him. He has his mines, he has his ultimate, and his, so it's pretty much he has 2 escapes with that. So that was definitely what I'm doing now. What were we talking about? I completely forgot. With that being said, let's move over to the next question that we have here. Asking Nipsey, asking, with Gideon being loosely based on the meteorite, why not make a skin resemble that similar to the stone rampage? That's actually a really good idea.
We can throw that into a concept type of thing, and you never know what that can bring, because I'm always looking at the Reddit. I know we're bringing up Reddit a lot because we're always on the internet. If we're not on the internet, we're playing or rarely doing our work.
Stuff, yeah.
And so with the skin ideas and possible new heroes that people do for the hero concepts, that's always really cool to see on the Reddit. And sometimes I was like, hey, you know what? This character is actually really cool. This person that they wanted to design or anything like that. So maybe I'd want to do some of the I think better ideas. Well, I mean, everyone has a good idea, but some of them you just have to accept. It's like, okay, never mind. This one actually is better than the last one.
Yeah, it's just picking which one do you think is going to be the most most pleasing, kind of thing. So, but yeah, that's actually a solid idea. We could put that in the idea folder and possibly get around to it. But yeah, we could try and do that eventually. We want to try and eventually get to everyone inside the roster. So who knows? Maybe a tier 4 idea for Gideon, because he does have his undertow skin already, which when I saw that one, I immediately wanted to go and put coins in to try and get that, but then I remembered, I'm not a Gideon main, but when I do get around to it, I am going to be getting him, because that one, along with the Ruby Scarab Grux and the...
Oh, when I saw the Ruby Scarab Grux, I just had to have it.
Yeah, you immediately dropped it, PayPal ready. There you go. Now I have it. And it was so hard to get into games where you could be Grux when that skin dropped, because people all wanted to get it and they all tried it out. Even if they weren't Grux mains, they was like, I have to have that skin, and now I'm going to be a main because you can't pass up that skin.
Definitely. And then I recently, I had no idea that the Onyx or the gold Grux skins were actually things. So one time I saw an enemy Grux and he had the Onyx skin. I was just like, this guy must be hacking or something because I've never seen that skin before. This guy's changing the layout and whatever.
Yeah.
And then someone on my team told me, it's like, no, he just has the Onyx skin.
I was like, the Onyx skin. I never saw that one. But you and I didn't happen to watch that stream when they had the Onyx Grux.
Yeah,
So-
they're releasing to people.
Yeah.
Now you can get it into in a loot crate.
And people always seem to have loot crates, but never enough keys, right?
That's
That's the trade-off.
so just start up your masteries, and you never know if you get a key drop from like getting initiate or
Yeah.
master. I know you were looking forward. It's like, oh yeah, I'm getting Master Howie.
It's like, let's see the prospect.
And then what'd you get?
You got another crate.
Well, at least when payday comes around, you have a bunch of crates that
Absolutely.
you can open up.
Absolutely. Gonna be opening them. Who knows? Maybe even a stream. I mean, because you when people open up stuff, you want to see what they get too.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. It's like, oh man, what's he gonna get? And so that's especially for us when originally playing Yu-Gi-Oh. It's the idea of what are you gonna get from your packs kind of thing, and so that's carrying over into Paragon as well. It's like, what am I gonna get from my crate?
Yeah.
So that's always fun to do.
So I think I only have a little bit of like this inner interior left to do, and then I can start like on shading, because that's always my fun part. Is like after base color gets done, then I immediately jump into shading, and then rim lighting just helps it make it pop out.
Yeah.
So this is the mace. I never always name your layers like as you go, because by the end of it you're gonna have like 20 different layers or
And
something.
it's gonna
like
say layer 2, level layer 23, and you're gonna be like, and you're gonna have to sift through all of them, saying, which one was this again? And who knows, maybe you're on the wrong layer when you're first coloring. So
yeah, and that's
always
never
good. Always good to name. So that's fun.
I actually have to change the color of that mace because I just realized it's the same color as the inside there. A good thing I have it, like under the gold trimming layer.
Yeah. That way you don't need to worry about it being precisely right there. You gotta have it.
Layers save lives.
Yeah,
next to
layers,
wards.
wards and layers save lives. So remember to use them, because you never know when you might need them.
Alright, so I'm not getting confused with this thing. See, this is what happens when I let you do line work, and then I have to color, because I never know like where you put stuff.
It's always a guessing game when we're doing it, especially when we're working together. That's why we kind of choose sometimes to work on separate projects. It's like, okay, you do one and I know what I'm going to do, and then we do our own ones and then eventually just post them. But when we're working together specifically on one, it's like, okay, what was this and what was he meaning with it?
What was the last one that we actually like did work on? Oh, I know what it was. It was the Paragon Pels for the Agora Creator Contest.
Ah, yeah.
That was
there
the
we go.
last one we worked on.
That was fun to do, because it's been a while since you and I have been actually in the competition. So all of those entries were great. Like you said previously, the war entry as well. I do know that Alit from WTF Moments on Paragon, he made one, submitted one as well. Those are always hilarious. But I really did enjoy that war cinematic.
Yeah, that one was cool. It really hit home for me. It was like, is this what Agora come to? This is just war, all out war, and then there's like, wait a
And
second.
then it's a deeper meaning and everything. So yeah.
Yeah. So now that I believe I have base colors done, I can get to the shading, which is always the fun part.
Yeah.
Always start off with my trusty.
But here, let me go ahead and tell you this code. Change the color of her base armor into more of a silver.
You know what? You're absolutely right. See, we can go off. I can be wrong sometimes.
There's nothing wrong in being wrong.
Something like that.
Yeah, that looks a little bit more closer.
There we go. I mean, the shading and like the light reflective light that's going to be hidden is really going to help bring that out.
Yeah.
So I can just kind of see, now that I'm working on layers, I can just go over everything. Boom, we got it done. Look how fast that was.
Yep.
It was beautiful. So yeah, I even also separate my
Your shadows and your other layers, just in case you don't mess up anything when you're doing.
exactly. Is this part of armor? Shoot.
What?
Okay, yeah. So I might actually have to undo that, but I'll just whatever go over it. I'll work on that just a smidgen later.
But hey, this is always the fun part, is doing the shading and everything, because this is when you actually get all like the really big details. You could see everything coming together. It's like, oh yeah, I know now where my lighting is and everything.
And I usually have a key idea in mind of where my light is. I don't know why, but it might be because I'm like right-handed. But my light always usually comes from the right.
Yeah. But when you flip the image over, it's going to be coming from the left. So
Well, that's after the fact.
Yeah, that's
so
after the fact,
We're
but-
fine. We're fine on that.
yeah, we're good on that one. And it's always good to. I really think that's also another good thing that you and I have, because you and I are always working on art together and everything. That you have a like a second pair of eyes when you're doing art, kind of thing. Because in your own eyes, you can look at your drawing and be like, oh yeah, this is really good, and you don't want to change anything. But when someone else comes along and is like, oh, you know what, maybe you could have done this with that, or maybe you could change the color of this thing, and that's something that you might not have caught just by yourself. So that's where you and I have an edge. If this color didn't look correct, or this line didn't look how it's supposed to be. So
You always have a critic peering over your shoulder because it doesn't help that we sit right next to each other, next to our desks.
You mean just like right now, right?
Yeah, exactly. So like nothing's changed. We're back at home all over again.
Yeah.
You're breathing down my neck, telling me what I'm doing wrong. You know, the good times.
You know, like how a brother does. So that's like my job.
You aren't
So-
doing your job if you're not annoying your brother constantly.
Nope.
I'm looking at you, AJ,
He knows who he is.
if he's watching.
But yeah, so
I just realized that might be a gold section that I
yeah,
need to
yeah,
go
a
and
gold section
fill
that you
in.
miss.
See, I caught it myself. I didn't need a second pair of eyes to tell me I'm wrong.
Your constant critic looking down. And also as well, now that I'm looking at the colors as well, we might want to make her a little bit more blonde as well, because her.
You're not absolutely right. See, what was I always saying? That I'm thankful to have you here as my second pair of eyes, always breathing down my neck.
That's not what he says at home, but you know, we get the point.
Sounds
And
groovy.
so go ahead and scroll over to see if we might have had any more questions. Good. Scrolling. Oh, so we do have some. Okay. Sorry, people, if we haven't gotten to some of the questions yet, we ramble on. And
the
we
one
forget.
who's drawing is the one who has access to like moving
Yeah.
the mouse. So
You know, how come I just don't move the
because
the mouse over
I
here?
have the tablet pen, and if you move the mouse, then it's moving my pen too.
There we go. There we go. So another question is I'm trying not to use contours or lines. How do you use lines and will keep the contour until the final result? I think it's a lot of the time it deals with people's preference and how they usually draw. I know for the longest time we've been trying to migrate away from lines because lines are like they restrict you as like this is where it's supposed to be, and if you're already into
I mean,
too
don't get
far-
me wrong. Line work is still
line
really
work is still
cool. I mean, look
still-
at all the comic books and stuff like that. That's
Yeah.
heavily based on lines, and but that style itself, even though comic book artists are amazing, I personally want to stay away from like that comic book looking style where you like have a lot of black shadow.
and that's what
it's like,
we've been practicing for a while as well, is try to migrate away from lines and
yeah, eventually. So like even the lines, they're like helping me like guide myself now, but I'll eventually want to go over them
yeah.
and like kind of blot them out, especially when I want to like throw in texture or anything like that.
There's tips and tricks and way to get rid of your lines, but as of right now, I'm gonna go ahead and admit it that I still rely on lines in order to get drawings done, but each artist is different, and so that's exactly what we're gonna be practicing throughout the years, is trying to refine our art, whether it be using or not using line work, and just overall just try and better ourselves as an artist and get to that next step so that we can continue our careers in illustration and animation as well.
Mhm.
So what were we on the topic before that? Was it it was Paragon Pals, right? That
Yeah.
was the last project that you and I both worked on together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long did it take? It took us almost exactly the week, right? Like we
Yeah,
uploaded
it took us
like,
almost exactly that week to do it. And so that was fun because it's always fun to get these seriously drawn concepts of characters and everything and just characterize them into these cartoons and everything. And that's what you and I really love enjoying, because you and I love comedy, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so when you take a very serious idea and you turn it into something that could be comedic, that's something that you and I really enjoy. And so that's what we wanted to do with Paragon Pals.
Make
Is-
like the day in the life of Monolith. It was going to be Agora when we started it up because that's Monolith wasn't released when the competition started, but so it was going to be everything that was on Legacy, even though technically we are still in Agora, but Monolith now would probably take the prevalence over like how your jungle works and how the characters need to stay in lanes and stuff like that. So Monolith does have a lot of changes compared to Legacy, but you know, the underlying stuff is still there. Like sometimes your carry is by himself pushing up to an inhibitor and you're telling him to retreat and he's like, I got this. And oh, would you look at that, the enemy Grux is already on him, and then he pings good job for saying that you guys weren't there to help him up. And he was I'm sorry we were called to base and had 10 CP to spend and you decided to push up by yourself. It happens, but you know.
And wouldn't that be an interesting idea, Code, is to have like an animated series covering everything that the players experience?
That actually would.
I mean,
you could call it, I don't know, Paragon Pals. TB with his mighty chin.
Oh yeah, you can't ignore that chin of his. And he just seems like the ladies man kind of guy, right?
Does that explain it in his lore? Or am I thinking something else?
You know what? Now that you're thinking about it, now that you mentioned it, I think it might actually explain it in his lore. But just the way that his character is, you can assign those characters with these personalities of, oh yeah, he's a ladies' man. He's got that very manly chin of his. He's got the double guns.
Crimson Chin wannabe. For any of you that have watched Fairly Odd Parents. I love that show growing up. Don't watch it recently, but, you know, times change.
And so, yeah, that would probably be an interesting idea. That's something that you and I would want to do.
I mean, we've already made the Agora Creator Contest and kind of like keeping to that same style of like the way everyone's like characterized.
Yeah.
But animate them. What was the show that was... Battlefield Friends.
Absolutely. Oh, there we go.
That was one of the other games that we played before playing Paragon was the Battlefield Friends itself, or was Battlefield. We still play it if anyone plays one. Or we have it on PC, but you know, PC Master Race. I don't want to start a war in the chat if anyone's still there.
You have the one side for PC, the other side for consoles, and we don't want to be the people that started that. But now that you brought that up, too late. You already started it.
We didn't start the fire.
And so, yeah, that was some of the inspiration when we were doing Paragon Pals, right? Was looking towards Battlefield Friends.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, hey, they cover a lot of stuff that's in the game that people experience all the time. So why not just take a concept like that and put it to Paragon? Because there's tons of experiences that people get when they're playing a MOBA.
Oh yeah, I mean, especially that Battlefield is a first-person shooter and Paragon's a MOBA, so like that experience that you're going to be having is like 10 times different than anything that you'd be playing in. So you got your mid laner that like doesn't leave mid lane.
Yeah.
Even though like he sees the enemy mid laner rotate and heading towards.
And he doesn't ping on the call as like, oh, enemy missing, and they just leave him for that Gideon to ulti both your support and your carry. It's like, and he's pings enemy missing as he's already doing his ultimate kind of thing. So you could take those concepts of people experiencing those. Oh, I'm spitting a little bit there. You take those concepts and those ideas and those experiences that people have already had, and you turn them into a comedy series with Paragon, and I think that would be funny and something the community would enjoy, and who knows, maybe that's something that you and I could work on.
Definitely, that does sound like fun. Although with you, I don't know. You know, I might have my
your doubts about it.
Yeah, if you're on the project, but I guess we might need to pull through when it comes to that.
Don't we always? And so, what else do we have going on, Code? Any other plans after the Serath?
Remember we need to do something for Chris relating to
there we go.
Sevarog.
Can't
I mean, I'm a Sevarog master, as in literally. I'm actually Sevarog master.
Nobody cares.
I don't mean to. Hey, you were talking about your Howie mastery, so I get a little bit of leeway when it comes to talking.
Right. I'm sorry about that.
So I don't mean to toot my own horn, but I've been looking for other Sevarogs. Like when enemy comp has a Sevarog in it, I study him to see like how he does it, and most of the time I can't find anyone that's as decent as
Oh yeah, you
Mwah.
just haven't played people from Reborn yet or anything.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe you'll say something different once you.
Wait a second. That's why. I'm still in low plat. The fakey low.
No. But yeah, you were saying that you have your master Sevarog, and I think that Sevarog's mastery when he has the red on him.
Oh, when he has his 4th tier mastery
true.
on, it's like it just looks so beautiful. You're glowing. Someone can see.
That's his a tier 3 all in itself, right?
Yeah.
Molten Sevarog kind of thing. Just changes the name of it from his mastery. So that was something that when I first saw Sevarog, I was like, man, that's awesome. And now to see him with his master skin on top of that as well, that was even better. Because it made it feel like it was an entirely new skin, especially for him, because of how much glow he has on him.
Yeah, definitely. When I first saw Sevarog Master, it was crazy. I was just like, how does someone play Sevarog that good? Because is he advanced or expert inside the?
Yeah, I think the description for him is that he's his stacks is a mechanic that no one else has.
Yeah.
So it's definitely something that you have to keep on looking out for, especially and if there are any new players for stacks. When you use any ability, I know they made a change when Monolith came out for the patch notes. Is that he gains additional health and attack based on how many stacks he has, right?
And you have to kill someone using an ability, not including the Phantom Rush, because you just go through stuff with
Yeah.
that. But on Legacy, it was just your Siphon that generated your soul stack, so not your Subjugate, not your Banhammer, as
Yeah.
I would like to call it, because that ult is just beautiful. It can get you out of situations. It can start up some situations, maybe isolate the enemy carry who's like overextended.
Yeah.
Enemy Greystone who thinks he's invincible and pushed up all the way to T2 tower.
Yeah, like
Not
we've
seeing
had-
any enemies on map. You know,
Right.
I'm bringing this up because it happens a lot.
Just he thinks he's
Low
invincible.
plat problems.
He thinks he's invincible, so he's like, "Don't worry, guys, I got this." And then pings, "Good job," when he dies.
Yep.
And so with that, we have another question over here from Alien1 saying, "I want to get into drawing and using Photoshop more. I'm fairly familiar with Photoshop, but I want to actually start drawing without using a mouse. Without drawing, or what drawing tablet do you guys recommend for a beginner?" And you know, this is actually a really big question for people who want to try and get into art, especially digital art, is Wacom bamboo tablets, I believe, are the most easily accessible and cheapest tablets there are. There are a great amount of other tablets that people can use, off-brand ones, and say this works perfectly
Not
fine.
really off-brand, but just different brand.
Yeah, like different brands kind of
This
stuff.
isn't cereal.
Yeah. Where you have Fruitios and Fruit Loops together. It's like, no, it's not off-brand. But yeah, different brands that people have. And so for us, our experience is that we used Wacom bamboo tablets.
Almost exclusively.
Yeah.
The entire thing. Just how like easy they were to set up.
In
the
fact, what you're
drivers.
working on right now is a Wacom 13-inch Cintiq, right?
Yeah, recently got this, I think a couple months back. I've never had one before, and now once you go Cintiq, you can't go back to... I was trying to make a stupid joke right there.
No,
like,
but yeah.
once you go...
Trying to make the dad jokes. No, it's not going to work good. And so, yeah, for that question, good starting tablets for any beginning artist would probably be Wacom bamboo tablets. They're relatively cheap, around anywhere from the $60 to $90 range.
yeah, for the smaller ones.
Yeah, for the smaller ones. I myself use a bamboo tablet myself because my workstation at home is much smaller compared to my brother's who uses the Cintiq. But I still use that one. It's been years ever since like
Yeah, haven't swapped out.
no, I haven't swapped out. I'm still using it. It's still very much useful, and that would be a perfect starter for anyone wanting to get into digital art, and they want to use a tablet because people can use mouse, but it's
I've seen
significantly...
people do mouse, and it's phenomenal. Like, I'm using a Cintiq right now, and they blew me out of the water. And like, yeah, whenever someone says, "Oh yeah, I use strictly mouse, I don't have a tablet," you kind of doubt them a little bit. It's like, that looks way too good to be on mouse, but it can be done. And it's never about like the programs or the the tech you have. It's just because you have I could have like a 24-inch HD Cintiq right now, and I'm still probably be drawing the same.
Yeah.
Just because you have a Cintiq doesn't make you draw better. It's like the practice that you have to put into it.
Yeah. the commitment that you take your art to, and if you're actually serious about doing that, and if you're going to be serious about that as a career choice, that's something that you have to take into account as well. And so, yeah, to answer that question though, a Wacom bamboo tablet, any model of that bamboo can work, and they're very reliable and they're relatively cheap for anyone with a lower budget that would like to minimize their spending. So that's really good. So just moving over really quick. Just wanted to grab where. You see, you always end up losing the mouse. Where is it? There we go. Oh, we do have another question over here. Angry Wolf Gamer, right there, kid. There you go. Would you consider doing a samurai-like skin to Feng Mao or Kwang? You know, that's also that's a really good suggestion as well, because their aesthetics already look like they might fit within that realm to have like the samurai-esque kind of armor kind of thing. I can definitely picture that a lot more on Kwang than I could on Feng, but yeah. I mean, like the first thing that I noticed, like as soon as Kwang came out and I played him, surprisingly, I think I remember that I was able to first, like I didn't have any draft dodges on release day of Kwang.
Right?
Yeah, thankfully I was taken back by it. It was just like, wait a second, this doesn't feel like a released character. I actually got to play him in my first time, and everyone was just like, nope, don't want to play him, don't want to bother with it. And so I was like, sweet, I had first pickings, and it was like the first thing I noticed is that he ran like a samurai in armor, because obviously he looks like he has the drape going down. He has like the side chest armor and the shoulder pads and everything. And I think I recently just watched like The Last Samurai the day previous, and some of them actually did run exactly like him. Yeah, I was just like, oh snap, dude! You know what? That looks. Got his movement in accordance with that. So that was for good to see. So yeah, that could be a really good idea for. Like imagine like a sci-fi samurai kind of thing for Kwang. That could be a very good skin idea, definitely. So that could definitely be an idea that we can do. And if you guys want to keep up with some of the concepts that we're making, go ahead and follow SneakyParagon. We'll be on the Reddit, we'll be on the Twitter and the DeviantArt, and we'll do as many as we can get to. And we just like really love playing with other people as well. Like if you guys use Discord a lot, our in-game names are Sneaky Plum and Sneaky Peach. Yeah. So if you guys see us like queued up together or kind of you know just kind of solo queue, the infamous solo queue. Yeah. You never know what could happen in solo queue. You can walk out the proudest man ever, woman. You never know, and or you go to drawing because you got to cool down. Yeah. It's usually like one of those things that end up happening. So it actually does not look like I will be able to finish this Serath with the amount of time that we do have left. But I'm really sorry about that, guys. I wish I was able to work faster, but I wish you were just better. Hey, you know what? Me too. I wish I was better too. You could have gotten this done. Yeah. But it'll have to do for now. Yeah. Showed you just a little bit into the workflow that we kind of go. I know there's probably other ways, better ways to do it, but this is the way that I work. Always looking for new ways to incorporate into the work, get it done faster, get it done better. What was the thing that Mike Libinati and Michael Bonatatis, our two instructors from college, told us? Work smart, not hard. Yeah, that was the one thing that they emphasized. I mean, you could also work hard as well, but if there's an even better way to do it, that could help. Yeah, if it can stimulate the same result, and you didn't need to work as hard to do it because you were just like a little bit more familiar with the techniques and everything, then that's called working smarter. So definitely something you can incorporate into your own work. Kind of like with the magic wand tool that someone brought up earlier today. It was like that is a way to do it. That's probably but you encounter problems with certain things, especially when you're on a time crunch. So but yeah, that was a way of Speaking about crunch, I've only played him once and I was terrible. I was like 8-1 and I never picked him up again. I was like, nah, this is not the character for me. Everyone paying in the I always lose at Street Fighter and Marvel vs. Capcom anyway, so what makes this guy any different? I know. Don't even get me started on how much I lost on Mortal Kombat, so. Yep. And I remember, wasn't I always the one that was beating you? Why do you got to bring up the past like that? Like, you're just rubbing it in now. Yeah, well, I have to do that. I remember when we were playing with our older brother, the Dragon Ball Z games and everything. Nobody could stop me. I was invincible between the three of us. So try that anywhere else, I probably get demolished. But at least I have that one title between the three of us. So that was fun.
I don't know. In some ARAMs that we've played, I've beaten you a couple times in Paragon.
Yeah, but that's ARAM though. Wouldn't that be fun for just to have?
For those that aren't familiar what ARAMs are, it's all 5 people go mid, and you don't worry about your towers off to the side. You can't go into jungle. I mean, some rules are different with when it comes to people, but like you can go into jungle once maybe, or like you can have a dedicated jungler to go do a camp or two, or go get river buffs or whatever. But you can't defend your towers until it gets to inhibitor.
Yeah, and you can't call back to base, and
Yeah, you
unless
have to die.
So those are always interesting to play,
Especially when you got like all 10 people in a custom game and in Discord as well. That's
Those
like
are-
some of the most fun that I've ever had.
Well, when you're cooling off from playing the PvP and you go into the custom matches, those are really exciting to do.
Surprisingly, they also get really competitive too.
Yeah,
was
I'm
like,
surprised. I was like,
giving
"All
call
right,
outs and
good."
everything like
I was
that.
like,
Still,
all right, guys, calm down. This is a custom game,
This is friendly. We're all friends here.
right?
No, not sure how much afterwards, but you know.
That happens.
Yeah. So, is there any more questions? I'm gonna start like scrolling over, so you don't need to constantly tell me.
Yeah. I don't think any for right now.
I mean, we're personally ourselves not looking at chat because we got a doc coming up, but you know, everyone here is doing their part. We just want to say once again thank you to Epic for having us out here. It's really, really cool of them to bring us out and especially do
You guys
something like
behind the
this.
scenes over there, great job.
And it was just a really awesome experience. We're having a blast here, and just trying to do this stuff for you guys. I mean, we do it for ourselves personally, and just that so many people appreciate it and really like it themselves. It just makes us want to do even more, and we will constantly continue to do more as the year goes on. 2017, here we come. We're gonna bring our full A game. Not that we haven't already, but you know.
An even bigger A game. There we
Yeah,
go.
an even bigger A game. I like
Two A games. One for me and one
Double
one
A
for you.
games.
Yeah, there we go.
So I've been working on this armor for a long time, but you just have to get the smoothness of it.
Yeah.
I should probably work with a lighter brush.
What have you been working with this entire time? when it
Usually
comes to-
40.
Yeah, that's usually a range that.
Although I think I combined 2 of the same layer together and then overlaid it,
Yeah.
and then merged them. So that's why like I immediately got a darker look.
Right.
And I'm just trying to go in and smooth it out. I don't like using the blur tool too much because it literally just blurs like your blotches that you did.
Yeah.
And so sometimes I would actually use Paint Tool Psi as well, but I just use it for its really cool like line work feature that it has. It has like an ease with it, so like you can do lines really easy, and that's more for like anime type of style. But it's blending brushes that it has. I personally like them a little bit better than Photoshop, but you know Photoshop just has so much more to offer when it comes to like merging
Yeah.
stuff, because Psi is more towards the
line
anime
work, right?
and line work looking areas. But I've seen a number of artist friends still use Psi, and they're much better than we are. So not trying to put myself down, I'm just stating facts here. Sometimes you got to come to terms with that people are a little more
Just got to
gifted.
come to terms that you can and will get better. There we go. There's some inspiration.
No matter what, this it's the internet. We always tell ourselves is like, do I want to really post my stuff on DeviantArt and get discouraged again, or ArtStation and just like completely get blown out of the water by some of these amazing people out here? But you just also have to realize everyone's their own different, level, the way their style is. Some people just catch it a lot more than others, and sometimes you just got to practice a lot more.
Yeah.
Instead of maybe don't play Paragon so much,
Yeah.
like for 5 hours and then work for one,
Fun.
and then wonder why you're not better at art. I'm diamond on Agora.
I'm laughing on the outside, but I'm crying on the inside because that's exactly what happens with you and I.
I'm diamond on Agora, but how come I still can't make a straight line in Photoshop?
But I'm bronze on drawing.
Yeah.
That was a good one. Huh?
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Here, Code. Scroll over to the thing. I think we got one last question in the time that we have here. Go up.
Scrolling up.
No, go down. Okay. Right
There you
there. The big one in big letters, Cody. Thank you. Poopy Boots. I like that name. I like
That's
that
good.
name. It's pretty original. How far away are you with being done? Just wanting to figure out how much more detail you were going to be planning to do with it. That's a really good question because it sometimes gauges how much time we have. But looking at it just from this standpoint and how much my brother has done so far, it's still roughly a few hours away from being done because afterwards, when we're done with the drawing aspect and the shading and lighting and all the details inside there, we go and we do something called photo bashing as well, where we'll take textures with realistic photos and we'll implement them into the drawing to try and.
I can just do a quick sample of that.
Yeah,
really
do
quick.
with a 1 minute you have left.
Yeah.
You can import, and this is something that you and I have been doing for a while. It helps get some more details, very very fine details. It's like when you're zooming in and everything. So let's say we have this a metallic texture that we have here, and we want to incorporate that into Seraph's armor when she's done. Granted, we're going to be doing a lot more detail with this texture, but we can go ahead and bring this texture into her armor. Kind of scale it down so that way you don't have like a massive picture or anything like that. And like, so like you have that armor texture and then still on top of like all the work that you were doing, because you don't want to just throw a texture in there and then call it done, because no, we're not
it's
like
going to
that.
cover up all your details that you did.
You could go ahead and do. So we'd find like different layer styles or anything like that. So like now we have a little bit more texture here, but like we want to maybe incorporate more of the shading and more of the
more of the shadows.
contrast. So like that was just a quick little thing. We wouldn't do specifically that. We'd kind of like blotch it out and like curve it, because this is just the armor itself. So like I'd scale it down to maybe like the breastplate or anything like that, and then I'd warp it so that way it looks like more curved instead of just throwing it straight on. And now it looks like you're going to be having like a lot more volume when it comes to like your breastplate or anything like that. And this can be for any.
Because you need the volume.
You need the volume with that. And so those are just some of the tips and tricks that we do afterwards. So to answer that question, we are a little bit ways away from actually finishing. I'm sorry that we couldn't finish it on the stream. That was the original plan, but he ain't that good. So I ain't denying it. I might be slow when it comes to things. Remember how it's already? Remember when we said it takes a couple of days to do it? Yeah, it's not just because like, oh, there's so much detail, just because I'm slow. But with that, everyone, we're joined back again with the second pair of twins over here.
We're not here.
Oh, there you go. There. I hope you guys save some, because
I was gonna say I thought of a hilarious joke. This is hilarious. It's gonna be hilarious. When you guys said photo bashing, I imagine that you just take the picture that you just created, or the art you just created, take it outside and just like beat it up, just like
print it out,
just punch the print, and then like, I mean, imagine you scan it back in, and then that gets you the volume that you were talking about, like punching the. Actually, just punching the piece of art. Just
we
gives
actually
you
had
the
that plan later, but
That's,
kind of a surprise. But cat's out of the bag, so
there we go.
You know,
I'm loving it.
No, but I like, and that's the sort of thing, is like hearing how much detail you really want to put into it, and the time that goes into it. I think it's more so that like you have that high level of detail and you really want that quality, because some of the stuff you said, you don't want to just put on the texture. You want to just put stuff on there because you don't want to cover up like it was saying, you don't want to cover up the work you've been doing, because it's just one of those things where you're like, yeah, I made this beautiful piece of art. Now we're just gonna put like
just a layer over it.
Yeah.
And then there you go.
it was so
call
cool to
it
see
done.
that, though. I mean, my brother's a graphic designer, and so I get a chance to kind of see, some of the stuff where he can take something that's a blank canvas and then turn it into that. So yeah, I'm super excited for what you guys have coming and the final product. And yeah, thank you guys so much for coming out. It was
And thank you guys for having us. It was
No.
truly an awesome experience, and definitely hope that we'll be creating much more artwork in the future. Next one is Severog. Don't worry
Nice,
about it,
nice,
Chris.
nice,
we
nice,
got
nice.
you on
It's
that
definitely
one.
the next
Hyping
one.
it up.
Yeah,
I'm
I
excited.
will make
Okay.
it the next one.
We
Okay.
will make it the next one.
That's awesome. Well, Moody, I think you had a couple things you wanted to.
Yeah, I want to just touch on some stuff, while we're on stream today, like while we're wrapping up. For those of you out there, like hanging out in chat, we do actually some good news. We had like a CP, we had a bug that was going around.
Yep.
We've got a fix in for that, so that fix is live and good to go.
Nice.
And then people might have been noticing some hero changes you might not have seen, but like there are just some tooltip errors, like with the Bellica one people were talking about with their bomb. So we're aware of that and we're going to fix some of those. But like like I said, like it's really it's awesome to have these guys out here and see the work happening like live, because it's something where like you don't really understand the you don't really grasp, like you were talking about working smart, not working hard, and that's really what you talked about. It's like working efficiently with what the tools you have.
Absolutely.
And
So,
and it may not mean it doesn't necessarily mean like I'm not putting my full work into this, but it's like I'm putting my full work in the best possible way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it was awesome to see. The thing that was cool for me, because I was actually watching it on my phone over there, was like, so it was coming to life, and I saw some comments in the chat too about like as soon as you started putting the shaders on, I was like, dude,
You can start
this is
seeing it a
rad.
little bit
Like
more.
this is freaking cool. Like, and so I'm excited to see, like I said before, like kind of what you guys come up with the final product and adding the textures and the background and the wings and like what you're gonna do, and it's gonna be awesome. Yeah.
Sorry about that. I really wanted to like get to all that in the stream, but it usually does take us a couple days. As Dylan was stating, that it's just that we work on it a couple here, a couple there, a few hours each day. It's I really do want to get like more focused on like a full like live stream or anything like that, or just like work for hours and hours and hours until it's done start to finish. But it's just like that mindset. I've done this for like almost my entire life, so it's.
You heard it. He said it. Tweet at them. DeviantArt. Reach out to them. SneakyParagon. Hit them up and pressure these men into doing art live streams. Pressure them into doing it. Like this is if this is the kind of stuff you want to see. Like really the in-depth, the granular, getting into the art, understanding the process, and if this is something you want to do and are passionate about, they were talking about like you can get the gear, you can get the stuff, but it's about dedicating and actually putting in the time and the reps to get the work done. So hit these guys up, follow them, like check it out. And Chris, I think you said you had a couple of questions.
Yeah, I was curious too. Like, so kind of going back to the shader thing. I mean, for you guys, and I know you kind of answered some of these questions or whatnot, but I guess kind of to get a little bit more granular. Like, when it comes to the shaders, I mean, like even the wings, like. I don't know, for you, is that something that you guys kind of talk through and plan ahead of time, like when you're kind of drafting out the initial outline in Sketch, or is it like when it comes to it, you're like, oh, no way on the fly? Because like I know somebody who does art on a different level of music, like a lot of times it's impromptu and sometimes it's planned ahead. So like for you guys, what is it? Like is it?
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of it is like kind of planned. Like we'll tell each other, even though like one of us may not be listening to the other one. It's kind of just like one of those like we'll work together things.
Right.
Okay.
Where he's listening to me in the background, it's the back of his mind. But we will tell each other, it's like, this is what I have planned, and I'm gonna do it like this. But when we actually get to it, maybe it wasn't exactly the way we thought, and so maybe like
a
along
slight
the process,
change on it. Yeah.
And we'll start adjusting stuff until it does look better. And then of course, when we think we're done, the other one will peer over. It's just like, you can fix that, and then there's another couple hours in there that we need to fix some stuff. It's like, hey, I'm done. No, you're not.
I love the banter, the witty banter. Like I would watch that. I could watch that.
This
I could watch you guys doing art streams and just.
We might do some streams later. You never know. We've hardly streamed before. We're this annoying all the time.
You guys should keep doing it. That's awesome, and I think it's a cool way to showcase. Like, I mean, kind of our goal with this was to do something different, right? Like with a lot of the dev streams, we brought up people and kind of played the hero with the comp QA team and kind of done these, couple matches and gone back and forth. Those are awesome, but we want to be able to showcase to the community's talents. Like you guys have some awesome stuff to show, and you're invested in Paragon, and so like why not take the time to showcase the time that you're giving to a game that we're helping create? And so I appreciate it. It's fantastic. It's awesome. The last question I was going to ask you guys too was, so I know you kind of talked about like art that's coming, but is your next piece, like for you guys, are you thinking you're going to collaborate again together more, or are you thinking like, we're going to kind of do the individual thing? Like what's kind of
It's a lot of the time the individual stuff. Just specifically for this one, it's actually been a while since the last time we actually worked together on a project, which is the Paragon Pals animation, and
which
was
was
the Agora
so by the way.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. And even at that, we were kind of working on our own. Like he would take 5 characters and I took 5 characters, so it wasn't like he made the designs and then I took them and then animated them or anything like that. It was more towards you take those 5, I'll take those my 5, and our styles are so similar to each other that it kind of does look like.
I had no idea you guys were
the same one.
did individual things. Like I kind of, when I found out you guys were brothers, first of all, in the beginning I was like, brothers,
there's 2 of us?
what? There's 2, and I saw a couple comments in chat. They're like, wait, SneakyParagon, and the fact that you guys did individual stuff, I think it's cool too because it gets to showcase your guys' talents. And then even this, like Dylan was pointing out, like, hey, maybe we should go a little bit blonder in the hair and like cool stuff like that. And
I still haven't adjusted that. I'm gonna
that's awesome. Hey, well, we'll see the final product. Well, cool guys, thank you guys so much for coming out. Really appreciate it.
It was awesome having.
Seriously,
awesome having you guys
something
out,
cool,
having you on
something new.
stream.
I know we kind of had the caveat of like the torrential ice that we had to trudge through to get here. It was like half an inch, but
Yeah, it was-
to get here for Mooney and them, and we kind of had to separate the streams and whatnot. So appreciate you guys coming to hang out and
Yep,
watch them.
definitely.
Thank you guys for coming out. So one of the things that we got going on that I did want to call out. So hashtag Paragon Plays. You guys have probably seen us tweet about it. But right now, Serath is out, so we want to see your guys' plays and what you guys are doing. So make sure to respond to Twitter, Facebook with that hashtag Paragon Plays, because we are going to retweet those and be calling those out. And send us your Serath stuff, any stuff that you've got, fan art,
Yeah.
videos,
Definitely.
montages,
and
builds,
that's
guides.
how
we
this
want
sort of
it.
stuff starts. Right? Like
Yeah.
like sending.
Yeah.
You
So-
can shoot the on any art, any assets, any things you'd want to send us to community@paragon.com.
Yeah, community@paragon.com.
Yeah.
Yep.
So reach out to us over email, and Chris and I will be hanging out, checking out your awesome stuff. Like I know that's the kind of thing we'll find something cool, and Chris will I'll see an email from Chris that's just like, oh, I found this awesome piece of art, and then we'll all get like really hype looking at it.
Yeah.
And we'll try to like, how can we feature this? Like, how can we
Exactly.
showcase this awesome work that somebody's done with this game that we love
Yeah.
playing with people.
We saw, what was it? The one that I saw that was awesome. Ed pulled me over to his desk in SB Trust, and he was like, dude, do you see this? And I thought it was like a chimera drawing, and it was a tattoo. And like, I'm a tattoo enthusiast, so like I saw it and literally was like, oh, that's so cool. Like it literally looked like chimera was like coming to life on this dude's arm. So I was like, well, that's cool. So it's cool to see more art coming out.
right.
We had a lot of like montages and builds and guides and a lot of that kind of stuff. So it's cool to
Right.
see more talent showcased in that avenue. And hand drawn, like
sure.
Callum, I think, is a guy who does like a lot of the hand drawn stuff, and that's awesome. So
Yeah, definitely.
but yeah, thank you guys again for coming out.
Yep.
Mooney.
So follow them. Twitter's below. You see their names at SneakyParagon. Check them out.
Yugi-mation on Reddit. Yugi-mation.
But I
That
think
might
they said
change soon.
they said they're going to probably change that. But like the Twitter, check them out on Twitter. I'm sure you guys like when you update your whatever they can follow you on. You'll like let them know.
Yeah, definitely.
But reach out to them. Follow these guys. Thank you for coming out. The Serath drawing was amazing.
So cool.
But yeah, so
So
Wait till it's done. Then it'll be just right.
yeah, we'll be posting that as well too. We'll make sure to share that for you
Awesome.
guys. as
Thanks,
well.
guys.
For sure. All
Thanks
right.
so much for having us out as well.
Thanks, guys.
Absolutely. Take it easy, guys.
Bye, everybody.